Hi, and welcome to another episode of Roadside Oddities. Glad to have you on board today. If you're keeping track at home or it's your first time watching the channel, this is stop number 16 on our attempt to visit all 433 national parks in the United States. On today's episode, we are at Curecanti National Recreation Area in the East Portal. Now, to access the East Portal, you must enter the south rim of the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park and then turn onto the East Portal Road. The East Portal is an adjacent unit that is co-managed by the Black Canyon of the Gunnison National Park. Now, in our last episode, we traveled the South Rim Road, viewing the Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which you can find that video up in the right-hand corner of this video. This is also a first on the Roadside Oddities channel, and that this is a multi-part series on visiting the Curecanti National Recreation Area. I decided to make this a few parts because trying to explore the Curecanti is a little bit of a drive. It's spread out over a pretty large area, and there's different areas to pull into, so just figured it'd be a little easier if I just made it in a couple different parts. Now, this road that we're currently driving on, this is the East Portal Road, and it was used for equipment and crews for the construction of the Gunnison Tunnel between 1905 and 1909. And it was, the Gunnison Tunnel is actually an irrigation tunnel, but at some points on this road, as you can tell, it's a 16% grade. So it was very steep and very fast. It was kind of fun, actually, not gonna lie. Enjoyed it. And vehicles must be under 22 feet to travel on the East Portal Road, so pretty much just personal passenger vehicles. And the road does close in the winter, but once you get down to the bottom of it, at the very top it's kind of flat for a few miles, and then it starts getting the windy, curvy back and forth. There's rest areas, there are facilities, and there are some really amazing views. And I'll stop and show you kind of what the river looks like. Very calm, very peaceful from down here, and just really relaxing. But this is a nice little area. It was a little crowded compared to other areas, but it wasn't too bad. You can just see how peaceful that is. Just a real calm moment. Now, down in this area, there is a primitive trail that runs along the Gunnison River you can follow. You can also picnic, like some of those folks were doing back there. And they did have outdoor exhibits that tell you more kind of about the construction of the Gunnison tunnel and the area of this East Portal. And you can also fish, too. And I did see some trout fishermen down there. You do need a license, though. So make sure if you're going to do that, you do have that covered. The fall foliage wasn't as strong as I'd hoped it had been down in this area, but it was still starting. I'm sure a couple weeks later it was extremely nice. There's a fly fisherman down there. Hopefully he's having some good luck. If not, he's got some really great views. This road will eventually dead end at the couple miles from the Crystal Dam, and there it's the Crystal Reservoir area. And I was actually unaware that just how dead of an end it is once I got down there, but I saw it. The amazing thing about this drive is that it's actually prettier, more scenic views when you're coming back up the road than when you're going down. Now, don't get me wrong, this is absolutely mesmerizing, and it was very relaxing, and I would highly recommend this drive. Just something else to see. As you can tell, again, not much traffic. Just a handful of people were down in this area. I don't think a lot of people really, because of how steep the road is. And this is the dead end section. That's as far as you can go. You don't want you to go any farther. The dam is over that way. And like I mentioned, the return trip, absolutely stunning. Kind of gives you a different perspective. But back to the point I was making, I think a lot of people that go visit the Black Canyon of the Gunnison don't really realize this area is down here. It's actually right when you come through the gate. You've got to turn right. And the fact that that road is so steep coming down and windy, and you're not quite sure what's down here, I think a lot of people do not come down in this area. They just stay up in the Black Canyon on the South Rim Drive, which is kind of unfortunate because, as you can tell, this area is pretty neat. Again, I mean, there's not a whole lot of things to do, but, you know, if you're going to come this far out to see the Black Canyon and the Gunnison, you might as well go ahead and head down to East Portal, as long as you don't have an RV or anything like that. And just a stunning view there. You've got the river on one side, the trees, the canyon. The weather this day down there is actually a little cooler down there than up top. And I think it was probably in the 70s, 75, 80. So nice light jacket weather. The spires there on the rock formations. That would have been something else back then in 1905 to have been down in this area. I'm sure there was no pavement on the road. It was probably pretty dusty. And having to travel that road would have been a major challenge. There's just a lot of history in this area too. You can really kind of get immersed in it if you like, you know, architecture, building from the 1900s. And again, I think in a couple weeks, the full foliage would have been something else to have seen. But this return road, again, like I mentioned, we saw it was a dead end, and then you'll go back through the area. There's some of the exhibit signage over there on the right, and they do have a little area down here that was for the park service. You weren't allowed to go down there, but the drive up is something else too. It's quite the challenging drive. It probably took about 25 minutes to get back up to the top, but like I had said, the views were incredible coming back up. You'll notice again, there wasn't hardly any traffic at all. It's a nice and smooth ride back to the top. And then eventually this will take you back to the gate to exit the Black Canyon of the Gunnison. You can see the different layers there on the road, just kind of the switchbacks going back and forth. So the next part after this section, headed over to, that was Crystal Dam down at the bottom. You can't really see it real well because it's a couple miles from where the dead end road is. But we'll eventually go see a few of the other dams that are in Curecanti. If you look over to the right, you can kind of see again just how high up you're climbing. A little hard to see over there, but it's really pretty. And we'll explore the rest of the Curecanti National Recreation Area in the various parts. It took about 45 minutes or so, I believe, an hour to get over to the other section. You've got to go back to the highway from here, or once you get back to the front gate, you still got to go back to the highway, kind of work your way around to that section. But I would recommend, if you're going to go to the Black Canyon, the Gunnison, to check out East Portal. I don't think you would necessarily just go to look at East Portal, but I could be wrong. But I would not. I would just bundle it with the Black Canyon and then head on over to East Portal, or vice versa. Go to East Portal first and then go to the Black Canyon. But I don't think I'd make my way just to go to East Portal. You can kind of see up to the fire damage up there. It's kind of nice. There wasn't really fire damage down in there. There is some of it up here, and you can tell too the road gets a little flatter. Well, appreciate you joining us. Be sure to check out the next part as we explore more of the Curecanti National Recreation Area.